Hi guys, welcome back to UK Here We Grow. In this episode we're going to be having a look at these things which are called plant halos. Bit of a first for me, I've never used them before, but judging by what I've learnt over the last few years, I thought I'd give these a go and I'll explain why shortly. Stay tuned. Okay, so this year I decided that what I wanted to use was these things. These are called plant halos. Really sturdy product, and you don't just have to grow tomatoes in these. You can grow cucumbers, in fact anything in the cucurbit family, really good. And the way they work is through these little holes here on the bottom, it's got like a reservoir around here. So once it's in the ground, you just fill this reservoir with water, okay, or water and a feed mix, and that soaks down into the ground. Much more efficient way of watering. The reservoir will stay there for quite some time, and then it'll just slowly feed that water into the ground around the plant. The actual plant itself around that just stays dry. The thing I like about them is that it really does save water, and it enables you to target your watering rather than just sort of covering everything in water. Now, last year I learnt the hard way. I tried these beds here in the big polytunnel without any membrane over them, and it was just a constant battle with weeds, and obviously the more water I was putting on for the tomatoes and things that were growing here, the weeds obviously took a lot of the nutrients out of the ground. So all morning I've been preparing the bed. I've now got it covered in membrane and stapled down, ready to site our plant halos. Now I'm not sure if you can get these abroad, like for example in the States or Canada, but I'm pretty sure that Oakland Gardens, which is where we got these from, will ship those abroad. So if you can't get these in your home country, do go on the website and make an inquiry. I'm sure they'll be able to accommodate you. The website will be scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Now, to actually site these in, what I've done is I've got a little plastic plate like this and a pair of scissors, and I'm going to get them sort of roughly lined up. I've got in this line, I'm going to use 6, and just this side of the bed I'm going to put in mainly beefsteak tomatoes. You can use these in another way, and I'll show you that a little bit later on. So all I'm going to do now is just basically take a plate like that, push in, and then work around that. Excuse me while I've got my back to you. Now, I've put a lot of feed and fertiliser and everything into this bed because it was pretty devoid of nutrients. To be fair, they have taken a bit of a hammering, these two beds in here, for the last couple of seasons, so I treated them to a bit of everything. So we can get rid of that. And then all you do is with your little spikes, site it where you want it and just push down until it's home. And that's it, it's in. So I'm going to crack on and get the other ones done, and then I'll come back when we're ready to plant them up, and I'll show you what all this other stuff here in the middle is all about. Okie doke, right, so I've done one here already. There's my little tomato plants. I have cheated a little bit because I am so far behind this year. I've had to go and buy some, but this variety, and I don't know if this is pronounced right, Noir de Creme, they look like quite an interesting variety. I'm not sure if the camera's picking that up, but there you go. That's what we're going to sow up this, well, plant out up this end. So I've got some really nice homemade compost. Had a lot of carbon and cardboard in this actually, and a lot of horse manure. It's really well rotted. Absolutely beautiful stuff. So I'm going to put a bit in the bottom. Just make sure it's down. Out with our tomato. Beautiful little root system on there. I'm just going to pop that in the middle, and then I found this easy. I did that one there with the trowel and it sort of went everywhere, so like I say, it's the first time I've used these. What I will say is I'm not going to just solely water and fill these. Every now and again I will water the whole bed, because there's a lot of nutrients that are going to be around this tomato plant that those roots are going to have to really hunt out, and if the ground's a little bit moist, it's going to keep worms in here and it's also going to encourage that tomato to throw those roots out far and wide to get all that really good nutrients that's outside this halo ring. So you plant him up, just make sure it's nice and level. That's another important point, because obviously these are going to be full of water. You do want them fairly level, so it's not, it don't have to be spot on, but just level to the eye. It's pretty good. Just firm that down around the edge because they're tapered. More in the top. Very tidy way of gardening, because obviously there's going to be virtually no weeding at all season. So if you are a bit pushed for time, don't forget to put your label in as well. Then it's an ideal way to do it. Right, that's that bit. Now this bit, which is in the middle, if I just grab one, which is in the middle of these halo rings, all right, dead easy, just give it a twist, like that. And they just pop straight out. That is going to be the clamp that will do the canes at the top. So we'll grab 3 canes, and they just basically go down through into the ground, like so. You can put a central cane in if you want. I'm not going to bother though. I'm just going to have the 3 like this. And that one. I just love the simplicity of this system, really. And make sure the canes at the top are all nice and level. And then this is going to go on the top. I'm just going to put it on and then we'll come back. So I'm just going to bring the 2 canes together like that first and foremost. Pop that one there. That one goes over that one like that. Soft law is always one that's a bit too long. Oh, right. Pop that one through there. Right, that's my canes in. Pop that down a little bit. So there you go. I'll be able to tie off of these canes all the way up, and as them roots sort of get right the way down, that'll anchor itself into the ground as well. So it's a self-contained system, really. Minimal watering. It's built-in cane structure, support system. Win-win, hopefully, but we'll give it a go over the season and we'll see how they fare later on. Okay, there's one other thing that I will show you, but I'm going to do that back at home. Okay, so if you haven't got a lot of room, but you still want to do a little bit of growing, then you can use grow bags. So ideal for a small courtyard garden or a patio, even a balcony. You can get away with them. And the beauty of using these halo rings along with the grow bags is I found that grow bags do dry out quite quickly. So having that water reservoir on top keeps these moist for much longer and allows the plants to thrive, basically. Another good advantage as well is, what I would recommend rather, is if you're going to use grow bags, get these plastic grow bag trays. Oaklands do sell them, but they're readily available pretty much in all your garden centres. So they're well worth investing in. The grow bags have got little holes in them, and they over time just wash out mud all over your patio, and that will contain it. The other good thing is if you are going on holiday, you can fill the tray with water as well as the reservoir, and it'll sustain these plants for at least a week. Incidentally, these ones are sun golds, and I thought I'd do a couple of these at home. Just for the kids, really, when they ripen off, they can just sit here and pick on them. I haven't put the canes in yet. Same thing, you've got the cane support at the top, but I will be putting them in when I get some more. I've run out. Anyway, that's all from me. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell as well, which will give you an email notification on when we put a new video out. Sorry for my absence, it's been a little while, I know, but anyway, Bye for now.